Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and information on Path of Exile. Starting very briefly with the Twitch drops that we got during the live stream. Of course, the live stream has happened, so we've had the full reveal for the Return of the Ancients 0.5 update for PoE2. Now the Twitch drops were this pretty good looking statue which also has another form, and it's a font hideout decoration, so yeah, useful in PoE2. But anyway, let's get straight into the landing page. Now you can see the full live stream, you can see the trailer, you can see the content reveal, the announcement page, which we're gonna take a look at in a moment, the supporter packs, of course there's new supporter packs, and the usual slew of press articles, which we don't really care about as always. Now I recommend watching the content reveal here, as it includes the trailer. It's the best part of the live stream. It's more than an hour long and it's definitely a lot of stuff that's been revealed, so let's get straight into the announcement page. Of course, their biggest update, to be fair, they didn't do many updates so far, but this is definitely the largest one. And the first thing is the Return of the Ancients, of course, the update taking the name from that, where on the Atlas, as you can see, these structures have risen, and there's special stuffs going on in there. Also completing the maps in there will grant skill points on the new Atlas passive skill tree, which you're seeing right here. And actually the different thing from PoE1 is that you can completely fill this whole skill tree with your characters, and yeah, that's something that's new to actually make things more interesting. However, GGG made a new thing that's these alternative rewards for the big nodes. So you can see here you can choose the one or you can choose the second, and of course this shapes your Atlas in different ways, which are probably going to be really cool. Hopefully that's gonna work really nicely. And also we got a new Endgame pinnacle boss. It's of course this guy. It's the first edict. It has its own unique item, which is pretty damn cool. And yeah, it's gonna take a while for people to get there and to build around it, but I mean, it's pretty much a lance with strong physical and lightning, leeching from lightning, and also giving you some very cool moves, which if you watch the live stream reveal, we'll be able to see. Now there's also Masters of the Atlas, and it's actually 3 characters. The first one is Doriani, and you complete quests for them, and you're able to put points into this, let's call it matrix. And then you're able to choose one of the 3 before entering a map, and the bonuses of the things that you've taken in here will apply to that map, and you can freely choose one or the other on every map. So that is pretty nice. That is an additional thing, and it's looking pretty damn good. Also, we got 2 new Ascendancies. The first one is the Martial Artist for the Monk, and the only move that you can see here is the one where he stands still and channel his inner images, actually applying the attack that's linked to that. And it looks really cool, honestly, although, I mean, standing still in a fight in PoE, definitely not the best thing, so we'll have to see if that's balanced well enough. Still looking pretty good as a Monk Ascendancy. And the second one is the Spirit Walker for the Huntress. Now this is based on the 3 spirits, the Stag, the Owl, and the Bear, also actually giving you chances to use unique beasts as your companion. And the video right here is kind of spazzing out, not sure why. Still, it's looking pretty cool. It's definitely a new one, and we'll have to see how that goes. Also, we actually have a new league going on. Of course, that was just expansion, but the new league is basically based on these pillars over here, and what happens is you'll find them, for example, like these, with 1 or 2 maybe of these runes already socketed in. All you need to do is press the button and choose one of these combinations here, and what you're seeing here is also the reward that you'll get once the encounter is done. So you choose one, monsters pop up and you fight them, and if you're able to kill them all, you will be rewarded with this reward, also something else probably, and this scales up really hard in higher tier maps. Like, I don't know what those are, but as you can see here, from a very long stripe of at least 6, you can get something like Uncut Spirit Gems level 20, which are pretty damn good. So this system can scale really well, and it's also tied to the Kagurans. I mean, it makes sense, they are kind of the runesmith here. You will also be able to get Verisium from those encounters, and what you can do is apply it to any type of armor, as you've seen in the small video here, and it will simply add a runic word stats to it. If you do it on a unique item, it will just upgrade it. Not sure if it works with every kind of unique, but it definitely does with some. For example, this talisman here, actually probably making them somewhat endgame viable, so that is pretty cool. And we're also getting a couple new skills. For example, this Frost Flame Nova, which basically unleashes a wave of volatile ice that feeds on flame. So if you have an enemy that's burning and then you add this, the enemy is also building up frost, which is pretty cool. Or example, this Runic Infusion, which just add physical damage equal to a percentage of your runic word cost, which also is a pretty nice way to scale things. There's also new runes and new things to insert in your sockets, and these are just a couple examples because literally GGG has added like 100 or more of those. So yeah, good luck finding the best ones for your builds. And then the truth about this update is that it's really focused on endgame. So first up we got Expedition, which basically, as you can see here, reveals a part of the sea, which is always going to the southeast of your start of the atlas, using the logbooks, and then you complete the maps and do all the kind of things that you would normally do in an expedition. And also added 5 new bosses for these, which are kind of the same that you know, plus some others that might have not been in there yet, of course, coming with their own uniques, like this amazing hammer that's just converts fire damage to physical, scaling on mana. I mean, those things are pretty crazy, and I'm sure people will find a way to exploit them. Also, Delirium has been reworked, and yeah, it works kind of similar to before, except now you get a bar on the bottom, and you can see you are this small dot below. You can see the more you move forward in the map, if you're moving right on this bar, you know you're going more Delirious, which means you're heading towards the boss. And if you manage to get toward these checkpoints here, you're actually getting these rewards. So if you get to the end, you get other items to actually put Delirium on a sequence of maps, after which you'll be able to get to actual Delirium bosses, which are pretty damn cool. Now, I mean, there's also a little bit of an addition to the distilled emotions. Not only they work on amulets now, but you can also use them to craft things on your jewels, which, I mean, is just another thing and looks pretty cool. So as I was saying, you're also going to get a boss for Delirium and the unique items related to that. I'm just gonna touch on this Raven's Flock, because the Spiraling Conspiracy skill that it gives is actually a physical Righteous Fire that scales on minion damage. So this item is definitely going to be one of the most talked ones as soon as the league starts. I mean, as soon as someone is actually able to get it. And yeah, it's gonna cost a bit, but it's definitely going to be a very interesting one. And personally, I find really sad that GGG hides skill, especially such wanted skills, so far away from the start of the game. And I suspect some people will never be able to actually play that. Still, there's also, of course, improvements to Breach. And you can see here, like, you're following the story of Chayula and the usual thing basically that we've done in the PoE1 league for now, with a kind of a twist, but still what you're doing is just breaches, and they work exactly like Breach. Of course, the tree has been changed a little bit because PoE2 has to be different, so now the actual WOM gifts are a little bit different. Like this one creates belts, rings, amulets. There's one for currencies, and as you can see, the tree is much bigger than it used to be. So yeah, that's kind of the same league, but kind of different. Also, you can get new base items like this one or this one, which have socketables in them, and they gain bonus depending, like this one as if it was a helmet, this one as if it was a gloves. So yeah, these are quite interesting. And of course there's also the usual endgame with Ash and Tool and the citadels and everything. So yeah, Breach is looking good. It's kind of the same as before, honestly, so just coming out of a Breach League. Yeah, not exactly hyped about that. Still, also Ritual has been reworked, and much like all the others, it now has better rewards. As you can see here, with the tribute you can get uniques or omens. Like, this is much better than it was before, and you can also choose to not give some tribute or use some tribute, and you can actually offer it to the king, so when the bar fills up you are able to enter the Rite of the Nameless. And then you can do these type of maps, and whenever you complete one, it splits into others with possibilities, and you can choose one or the other, until by playing enough of it you'll be able to actually get an audience with the king and get to fight it as always, basically getting, of course, new unique items, which are pretty damn good again. So this is also very nice. And one thing that's worth saying about these leagues that I've touched very briefly is that now they all have a basic quest introduction that will guide you through them, at least for the first time that you're doing them, so that you understand how it works, and it kind of gets you started and it kind of gets you in the direction of doing things. So that should leave players, when they reach the Atlas, not as clueless as before, and yeah, it should give you a little bit of direction when you get into this infinite Atlas that is still kinda weird. It kinda gives different vibes of progression, and sometimes it's just easy to get lost in there and lose the will to play. Still, over 30 new maps have been added, and I mean, that's just really good. This should spice up the endgame as well. Of course, new bosses, maybe not all new bosses, but still pretty new stuff, which is always really good. And there's also just new unique items overall. By the way, this is the actual Righteous Fire, the small gray circle you were seeing here, and this is probably the Tal's shield with this unique move that's looking pretty good as well. But then again, we got some old favorite coming back, like a Brutus led Sprinkler, definitely really good for strength stacking. An iron-bound bow, which looks honestly amazing if you could get it, if you could be guaranteed to get it early on for an actual warrior archer. And the voices coming up as the latest chase items, since it can actually get up to 4 jewel sockets, which will be absolutely crazy. And gemlinks are once again going to be the strongest endgame classes once you have enough money to fund all your things. They also introduced challenges for the first time, again to give you something to do in the end games, give you some direction. And you can see there are basic ones like ascending, identifying uniques, and there's also only 8 of them, and you might not be familiar with these, as in PoE 1 there's 40 of them, but really in PoE 1 there also used to be only 8 challenges back in the days. And nowadays there are 8 challenges, but in Ruthless. So yeah, GG probably testing their ground on these 8 challenges to see how they work. And probably these leagues are going to be the easiest to actually complete them, because as GGG adds more content, the challenges get bloated. With all of the content, you always have to do all of the content every time. So yeah, the more they add, the more boring these challenges become. So definitely recommended to do them right now. The armor here is the actual reward for completing these challenges. Also, you get a statue just like in PoE 1. Just with a different look, so that is pretty damn cool. GGC has also been streamlining the campaign, not exactly in the meaning that people would imagine, but just adding some hints here and there to navigate the maps better, to find your objectives faster when you are going through the campaign, which, I mean, is still pretty cool. And another huge thing that no one really expected coming up was the build planner here, where basically once some content creator creates a build file, all you have to do is simply download the build file, and it will appear in the game client, showing everything needed to create that build, including passive skill tree, notes, ascending points, skill gems, and more. And you can see here, this is the path, for example, that you would need to take if you had one of such builds loaded into your client. Now this is crazy good, both for content creators and for actual players, especially those who don't really want to build random stuff, or who just want to build something that works and don't really want to alt tab 25 times per second to actually see everything. So this is amazing, cannot get over it enough. And another massive quality of life improvement is the market price checker. This works something similar to Awaken Trade, and it just works in game. It's amazing. Definitely really good, definitely improving quality of life for every player that plays the trade leagues. If you're not playing the trade leagues, well, it doesn't matter, I guess. Still, there's 2 new supporter packs, and if you want to support GGG, this is definitely the best way to do it, while also getting the best bang for your buck, because you get the full microtransactions, and you also get the points that you will get anyway by buying simply points. So yeah, this is definitely something to keep in mind. Still, I'm kind of disappointed that there's no new class and no new weapon, but that really depends on whether you want to play something new through the campaign, or you just have infinite playtime and you just want to do your great things in the endgame and never stop playing. So people who like the endgame will absolutely love this update. People who wanted something new in the campaign are definitely not as happy, but still they still get something to do, I guess. There's still 3 weeks to go, and I guess that was all for this week. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.